Hey, great Tuesday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And let me say, what a way of changing the weather. You know, it started off as a kind of like a muggy little day, and then all of a sudden it turned out to be a pretty cool day. Uh, One of the things that I made mention on my page earlier was that I had decided to take a little bit of time and spend some time with family. And I get asked the question some like, "Hey, Erasmo, is you know you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay with your responsibilities as mayor of the city of Brownsville?" And I said, "Well, yeah." Let me tell you guys, good evening, good evening. If there's anything that I'm ready for, is to be the next mayor of the city of Brownsville. And I say that with all humility. And what I mean by that, guys, is that I've been ready for this position for the past 8 years. And I'd like to say that part of the reasoning, part of the education that I've received in the past 8 years has been to bring me to this point right now. And I say this because one of the things that I've made mention of is, guys, there is no one out here in the city of Brownsville that is more well versed in regards to the situations the happenings of the city of Brownsville than Erasmo Castro. I would dare say, folks, with all humility, that I am 10 times more well versed in regards to what ails, what hurts the city of Brownsville than all my opponents put together. They are not going to go into a forum or a debate knowing more about the hurt that the people of Brownsville have been experiencing than Erasmo Castro. Because I've listened to my community. I've been an advocate for my community. I've been at the forefront of every major issue that has affected our community in the past 8 years. Hey, Frankie.
Hey, good evening, Erasmo.
Hello?
Hey, good evening.
Hello? 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 Is it
Could you?
your internet or my, or is
It's
it
you.
both our internet?
No, I have pretty good internet.
Is it mine?
Yeah, I think it's yours.
It's mine. I'll try to add on a different internet, but let me know if it continues to mess up. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Okay. Uh, One of the things that I was making mention from you is I really think that these 8 years, since the first time I ran for the city, from city mayor, have really prepared me to this point because I've been listening to a lot of the my opponents, and I know I'm not supposed to talk about my opponents, but I've been listening to a lot of the individuals that are running for office right now, and it seems like they really don't have a grasp in regards of what actions to take that will benefit the city of Brownsville. And again, I'm not supposed to talk about other candidates, but I was listening to one of the lives out there, the podcast where one of my opponents went out, and it just seemed that he had absolutely no clue. And I'm not going to mention who he is, but one of my opponents, I'm not going to mention who he is, like if I'm running against several males, right? But no clue. We discussed a lot of the issues were discussed on this live, where a lot of things were being mentioned in regards to like the bus stops, the zoo, and there was just very very little knowledge. And I attribute that, frankly, to the disconnect that exists between individuals who are seeking office And the normal folk here in the city of Brownsville, normal folk like you, well, maybe not like you. The normal folk, but like, normal folk and these folks. And one example is, and don't give me crap, but like the Fronton situation, the Fronton situation, there was such a disconnect. Whilst I was standing there, Frankie, next to my Fronton people, and right, I don't live on Fronton, you know, I had to go look where Fronton was at. I'm just joking. That's a joke. But there was a disconnect between the individuals that were out there making the decisions for Fronton people and the Fronton people because they had no clue. And that's what concerns me, that there's no real concept in regards to what ails the city, what hurts the city. And there's such a disconnect. And how can these individuals make decisions for our folk when they haven't gone through the situations that we've gone through? We're talking about the bus stops. My opponent, I'm not going to mention his name, but my opponent didn't even know that our bus stops were out there rusting away. And you're going like, what do you mean you don't know that our bus stops are rusting away? And I think that's very unfortunate. Because if you want to be mayor for the city of Brownsville, Frankie, you got to be well versed on everything out there, don't you think?
Yes, and I think it is apparent. And I'm not just saying this just because I'm on your show, but listening to the podcast of one of your opponents, it does seem as if the greater good for Brownsville isn't at the forefront. It seems as if it's business as usual. The same old same is gonna stay in place. When they talked about the bus stop on International next to Porter, next to Brownsville Coffee Shop, there was um, it was stated that this bus stop it was semi new, brand new, and it's already deteriorating,
Brand new.
rusting, and this individual had no clue or concept. Um, Little things like that, and what bothers me, Erasmo, is that everything is hypothetical. Everything is, well, I need to be a mayor because Brownsville will not survive if I don't get elected. And um, as we all know, this form of government in the city of Brownsville is city manager driven, and the mayor is one vote. It's not like the mayor could do more than the city manager and do this and do that. My plea to your constituents, to your viewers, to the community is if your opponents as sitting city commissioners could not do, and maybe one because she is enclosed in one precinct, but you know your other opponent is an at large in an at large position. If he's not able to do that now, what makes us believe that he's going to do it in a similar position, just changing the title? And it's unfortunate that all of Brownsville isn't going to benefit. And when we talk about Las Prietas, and this might sound redundant, but I really want the people to really understand. Do you think wholeheartedly that these two commissioners will work tirelessly for Las Prietas, for Southmost, for La 421, for my people over here, by Rivera? It's apparent that they have their own agenda.
No.
They have their money making schemes, and that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, we need to get rid of these career politicians. And my plea to the community is every individual that was involved in PUB, that was involved in having an opportunity to make change um, by taking action, and they didn't, that should be a tacha against them. That should be noted against them because what do we expect them to do as mayor if they're not doing it now as city commissioners?
That's exactly on point. And look, it's just about the disconnect. They have no concept, no clue. They have a concept and clue about that little bubble that continues to provide for them those applause, those little perks that they get, the photo ops. That's it right there. But and look, guys, more power to these people. More power to that little clique, to St. Joe Market. More power to them. But at the end of the day, no one in the city of Brownsville is going to get to the level that they should be financially and well off whilst these individuals continue to funnel the resources that should go to Brownsville as a whole into that little small little niche that they have. And I'll give you an example. The hike and bike trails. I love the hike and bike trails. I've used the hike and bike trails. They're great. They're not one of our priorities. They should be. We just had a podcast, Manny, and I hope he come on. Manny had a podcast where they had Miss Macias on. And look, more power to Miss Macias. I was trying to redirect. But one of the big problems that District 2 has, Frankie, is the lack of sidewalks in District 2. And what has happened is that as other areas have been developed, District 2 has been neglected because District 2, a big old chunk of District 2, was supposed to be that Land O'Lakes area, Frankie. And Land O'Lakes area back in the day was supposed to be like the next Brownsville Country Club.
It was a rich area, no?
Didn't turn. Yeah, it was supposed to be the little rich area. It didn't turn out that way because what happened is because of the lack of leadership out there, we started to get these big old companies putting up shop right next to a lot of residential areas because they started to get everything out there in District 2. So you have a horrible mix because the people in District 2 were neglected for so long. That is one of the reasons why we've got these caliche streets, these warehouses, these truckers out there constantly flooding District 2, where our District 2 commissioner, Frankie, should have been pushing for the loop to be created. Because I don't know if you remember, Frankie, but we were supposed to have a 511 loop here in the city of Brownsville. A 511 loop that was going to take all these 18-wheelers, Frankie, and instead of flooding all the way down International, all the way from up there, from 511, from the Port of Brownsville down International, you've seen it. I've experienced it. It's horrible. Horrible. Besides the fact that it destroys our streets and our neighborhoods. So the solution that a long time ago had been brought up was let's make this big old loop that goes all the way from 511 over there, Frankie, and continues on 511 and goes all the way around and goes straight into Matamoros, into Mexico. But they've forgotten about, when's the last time, Frankie, that you heard about the 511 loop?
Can't remember. It's been that long.
No one has. Because they put it in the back burner to where, no pasa nada. And still through District 2, guys, anyone that lives in District 2, it's a mess. It's a mess. We've got these 18-wheelers coming, and look, guys, and someone's going to come out and say, well, that's what are you against the 18-wheelers? No, I'm for the 18-wheelers. I just want them to go all the way around on the loop that was supposed to be created. But the loop ended, Frankie, over there where the church building is at on allá in La 511. You know where the church building is at on La 511? Yeah. That's where it ended. That's why if you notice, Frankie, it goes like this and then it goes like this. And it stopped. And no one's done anything about it. And the reason that nothing has been done about it is because our District 1 commissioner has dropped the ball, just rather just like fiddle her thumbs until her daughter takes over as the next city commissioner. Because that's what they're used to, passing the buck over to their next generation. The District 2 commissioner that should have been a little bit more vocal out there has done nothing. Nothing. And those are the issues that should have been brought up. And this is where I think Ms. Macias dropped the ball a little bit because she said that her number one priority is the safety of Brownsville. And again, Great. I agree. It's my number two, Frankie. It's my number two. But if we're going to believe the city of Brownsville, we're the 16th safest city in the country. So why would that be a priority for you if we're doing so well? My concern with Ms. Macias's platform tonight was, are you really in tune with the people in District 2, Frankie? Because one of the things that other individuals had mentioned out there during the podcast was how District 2 is lacking sidewalks. No sidewalks. I mean, you go all down a lot of our, and let me tell you, for some reason, I seem to think that District 2 probably has more schools than any other district out there. And I'm probably exaggerating, but they have a crap load of schools out there, Frankie. And a lot of our schools out there, they don't have sidewalks. They don't. It's like Rivera and Idea over there. And yes, they are District 1. They have no sidewalks. And they need sidewalks, Frankie, because our students are walking in the middle of the street, Frankie. When it's raining, in the middle of the mud to get from their schools back home. Dana, Frankie, is a mess. It's a mess. No one's doing anything about it because the priorities are askew. And Frankie, the priorities are askew because we've got commissioners right now that are so far and apart from your life in the city of Brownsville, Frankie, from my life in the city of Brownsville, and from close to 300,000 individuals here in the city of Brownsville's life. And that's what's important here. When you don't have city commissioners who are in tune with regular folk, Frankie, here in the city of Brownsville, the city loses. Because look, Frankie, my opponents, they have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and steak and lobster with the Sampayos, with the PUB board people, with the Limas, with the Brownsville, what's that? The one that you were part of, the Brownsville leadership thing crap. They go out there and have these poulet gras. I was actually trying to say a cute little word, a couletas. And some of those little finger food craps, you know, they have those little doodads with, I mean, I don't even know the names of these little doodads with a 1%, whilst they ignore 300,000 people in the city of Brownsville. And that's what's unfortunate, frankly. They're not in tune with the needs of the people of Brownsville. We need bus stops. We need sidewalks. We need economic development for everyone in the city of Brownsville, not just for my chief of staff, not much for my compadre, my relative. And that's what we can bring. We can bring a fair Brownsville. We can bring an impartial Brownsville and a city government, because we are in a city manager government, and a city government, Frankie, that attends the needs of all people, not just the 1%.
And
Does that make sense?
you're absolutely correct. And it seems as if there is no progress. You talk about, yesterday a big issue was the zoo. We are bound to lose accreditation for the zoo, which would be a total embarrassment. That would be a black eye for the city of Brownsville. But why is this an issue now during campaign season? Again, an active working city commissioner should be actively working towards their goals. It shouldn't be just whenever I need your vote, this is what I want, this is what we should do. It's unfortunate that we're always fed that steak, that carrot in front of us and saying, you want this? Well, vote for me. You have to vote for me. If you don't, you're not going to get it. This would be a huge embarrassment for the city of Brownsville if we were to lose the zoo. As we all know, at one time, the zoo was a landmark for the city of Brownsville. It was a destination site, throughout the whole United States. Little things like that I've noticed. Now, are the constituents, are they starting to realize and say, hey, these are just talking points? What I've noticed is on the PUB issue, everyone always says, "Hey, return our money," and these individuals, they don't want to give you back their money. They have come to the conclusion and stated, "There's only so much money that we can give you, and we'll give you credit." And it's unfortunate that nobody's willing to say, "You know what? I'm gonna fight for you." The only one that you that says, I'm going to make sure that we do everything possible to make the citizens of Brownsville whole. The other candidates are saying, well, we'll see. There's 29 million, possibly another 11. Commissioner De Los Santos is saying the 11 is out of the question. There's nobody willing to grab the bull by the horns and say the citizens of Brownsville demand a complete refund, not a credit.
Frankie, cut the damn check, Frankie. Just cut the damn check. You took the money. Give us back the money. It's just that simple. And look, they want to play these games. And I had this discussion with Commissioner de las Chanclas. They want to play these games where they say, "Oh, Erasmo's lying," because that's what he tried to do on Sunday. "Oh, Erasmo's not telling the truth," until I came on the show, and then it's like, "Oh, well, Erasmo's right," you know. And then it was like a complete 180 because I've got my numbers, Frankie. I've been fighting this longer than Commissioner de las Chanclas or anybody else. So you better believe that we're in tune with what's going on in the city of Brownsville. My people don't want $29 million back, Frankie. My people want $179 million back. That's what they want. They don't want someone that's going to, well, we'll look at the options. We'll have 5 options. And then, as a commission, we'll decide what is best for you, citizens of Brownsville. That's what they said, Frankie. That's what Cowan said. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about him. That's what he said, Frankie. Give us 5 options, and then we'll choose which one is the best that we think for you. Screw you, John. You give us back 179. My people in Brownsville, you better vote for a candidate that's going to fight for your 179 and not 29, because that's pennies on the dollar. And you know what, Frankie? It's the crumbs that they want to throw out to the people of Brownsville. How long are we going to be satisfied with mere crumbs? Ya chale, And let me tell you, this race is going to be impressive because it's going to define the future of Brownsville for the next 50 years. 50 years. Because if they took 179 million of your dollars, my people, with one project, Frankie, this is one project, we're going to be doomed, bro. Doomed. It's just as simple as that. Do you trust them, Frankie, with $179 million?
No, absolutely not. And another issue that we have to dive into is the land, the property. I'm getting messages, I'm getting phone calls, and they're saying you should look into the owners of that land property. They're tied to PUB, and they're possibly might be tied to the interim or now current CEO. Now, again, I haven't gotten into that yet, but people are adamant in saying they need to sell that land and they need to return that money to the citizens of Brownsville. And you may want to look into who those owners were because, again, it's all connected. And that's something that we have to really, really understand. This is a large scheme on a massive scale. You have a city county judge that was charging, what, $1,000 an hour, a couple $100 an hour for emails, for phone calls, for things like that. When you really think about it, attorneys, they're expensive. We understand that. But it's really it's really theft. Again, me as a layman,
Theft.
I look at it as deception. I look at it as fraud. I look at it as theft. So our candidates, we should vote for individuals that really want to make the city whole again. That isn't going to be like, well, we'll see, we'll try and give you back credit. uh, our people will never ever trust us ever again. There's nothing that we can do that to right this wrong unless we set in motion things that will give back the money. That's the only way we can fix this.
And look, it's just simple, guys. They took from you. They lied to you. They greased the wheels. They cheated. They continue to lie. And now you've got my opponent saying, we'll give you a percentage back. We'll give you a little bit back. I mean, who in their right mind, guys, would say, okay, we're good. They took 179. They didn't produce. And when you ask them for your money back, they want to give you 29 as a credit for future services that they might provide. Frankie, how can you trust that, Frankie? They screwed us. It's on the report. But individuals that are weak, they're not going to push for a restitution to every single dime or asking for your vote to be the next mayor of the city of Brownsville. It's very simple, guys. Erasmo Castro is going to give them hell in a half and going to make them pay you back, pay us all back, $179 million. And I don't care what they have to do, Frankie. I don't care if they have to sell the land that they bought, the right of ways, every single freaking dime. You got to give it back to the people that you took it from. Because look, folks, they took the money from the poorest individuals, los abuelitos, las tías, los primos, the individuals that live on Social Security, the individuals that live on disability, and they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't give a rat's behind that they cut your bill. Because let me tell you something, Frankie. If during all this mess, Frankie, these 10 years, if you didn't pay your bill, what was going to happen? Were they going to take a partial payment, Frankie? No. You pay it all, plus the disconnection fee, the late fees, and the reconnection fee, Frankie. And then we'll get you your lights back. But what if you would have gone, ¿te debo cuánto? $179. Bueno, te voy a dar 29. ¿Estamos bien? Whatever they said, Frankie, they would have said, hell no. You're going to have to give us $179 plus interest, reconnection fee, and a penalty. So if it's good enough for them, Frankie, it's got to be good enough for us. But the problem, Frankie, is that there is selective justice here in the city of Brownsville. Because the rules that apply to them, they don't apply to us, Frankie. And let me tell you, Frankie, if you had done this, Frankie, would you still be at the island doing a live right now?
Nah, I'd be locked up.
Yeah. Your face would be on the front page of the Herald every other day, Frankie. Every other day. And this would be a major story if it was you. Because let me tell you, folks, the Fajita bandit, he took how much, Frankie? $1.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Folks, the Fajita bandit took $1.2 million. The guy got fried. The guy got 50 years, Frankie. Listen, folks, these people, they took $179 million, and no one has gotten indicted yet. Frankie, no one has been called in for questioning. No one has lost their job. No one, Frankie, has lost their job because of the 179 million.
It's kind of ironic, no? You would think that this is like in the movies in Hollywood where something on a grand scale such as this and the hundreds of millions of dollars, and nobody gets arrested, nobody gets fired, nobody gets that prep walk, nobody. It seems like if
Nothing.
it's like oops, we'll fix it. We'll extend your disconnection notices for a few until you catch up, and then let bygones be bygones. Another thing, Erasmo, that people have been brought up, that people have been bringing up to my attention is the credits. I'm hearing that people close to Sampaio, people close to those on the board, have gotten credits, Erasmo, of in the thousands, if not hundreds of dollars. And I kind of questioned it. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And they said, "Well, that's something that's been thrown around." Now, if this is true, this would be a mockery of the citizens of Brownsville. Why only a selected few? But again, that's the way politics works here in our city. It's important for the voters, for your viewers at Osmo to recognize: are you satisfied with your municipal government? Are your streets paved? Doesn't it every time it pours a little bit? Don't we flood? Haven't we been dealing with the same issues for 10 years, Erasmo? 20 years? It's the same old same. You know what doesn't change, Erasmo? Those circles. They keep on stealing. They keep on getting rich. They keep off sniping it off a little bit here, a little bit there. And what you say is true. Some people may not like your rhetoric, some people may not like your approach, but it's very, very true. This is just one project that we know about. Maybe because of how big this is in the larger scheme. But imagine the stuff that we don't know about, the stuff that hasn't hit the airwaves. And then we wonder, why is Brownsville struggling? Why do we have crappy roads? Look at Price Road. You know, I drive down Price Road every time, and that's a very busy street. It's dirty. It's unfortunate that our commissioners have not been working for us. It seems like if they're working for themselves and their masters.
Well, again, that's what's unfortunate. That they serve that 1%. They serve the individuals that put money into their campaigns to run for office. And look, folks, I've spent $300 on this race so far. $300. And I'm probably going to spend another $1,000 before May 6th comes around, guys. And that's it. These people are going to spend $100,000 easily in order to get individuals to vote for them, guys. And that's why they have all these signs. That's why they're doing all these voice text messages, robocalls, flyers going out, mail outs, because they have the resources, because they're provided by the same individuals, guys, that are continuously out there consuming the resources that should go to the people of Brownsville. And that's what's unfortunate, because at the end of the day, we're not going to have a prosperous Brownsville. And this can easily be traced back to everything that has transpired. One of the things that was brought up today with the podcast with Manny and Miss Macias is how our airport is second, Frankie, to every other airport here in the Valley. It's second to Harlingen. It's second to McAllen's Airport. Have you been to McAllen's Airport, Frankie?
And the last
Nice.
2 years, yeah, that's nice.
It's nice. Guys, we're second to the two major airports, other airports here in the Valley. Shouldn't have never been that way. What has Commissioner Tetreault done for the Brownsville Airport in her 12 years that she's been there, guys? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. And it's really unfortunate because at one point in time, and I know Frankie doesn't remember this because he's so young, but at one point in time, we had the number one airport in the Valley. Brownsville, guys. Brownsville. And we don't anymore because they continue to funnel and take the resources that should go to the people of Brownsville and put it in the pocket of the few, the 1%. We don't need individuals out there that are going to be selective in regards to the monies that are going to be returned to our people, going to be selective in regards to the individuals, folks, that should be prosecuted because of everything that they've done to us. We need someone out there, guys, that is going to demand $179 million, demand anyone and everyone that has done anything that should go to jail, go to jail. But look, again, I know I'm not supposed to talk about the other opponents. John Cowan was on Manny's show and saying, I'm going to go out there, have a drink with Eddie Trevino. He's my supporter. Eddie Trevino wants me to be the next mayor of Brownsville. Eddie Trevino took $2 million minimum from Tenasca. That's just his law firm, folks. He was being paid as the attorney for PUB. And you better believe that Eddie Trevino is supporting John Cowan in this race. Because they all want to cover each other's tracks. I want $179 million back to the people of Brownsville. That's what I will fight for. I want bus stops and bus shelters throughout the city of Brownsville. That's what I will fight for. I want sidewalks next to the important streets where our children have to use. That's what I will fight for. I will fight to be your voice so that when you get pissed off because Fronton Street suddenly becomes McNair Family Street, I will listen to you. I will fight for you. So you've got a choice. You fight for the guy that you don't like because he's loud and because he's obnoxious and because he's handsome and because he takes a lot of pictures and stuff. Or you vote for individuals that have already screwed you over one too many times. That's the choice. Pick your evil. You pick someone who has been a part of stealing millions and millions of your dollars. Or you pick someone that has been calling them out on their crap for at least the past 10 years. Government entities will never take any fault. Not these guys. They think they are above the law. They will get what's coming to them. Karma is a bitch. If Cowan or Tetreault win, will they remain impugned like Trevino? We can't let them win. We can't let them win. And ultimately, Rolando, that falls on us, the people of Brownsville. I'm going to start block walking Thursday, guys. Not something that I'm used to, but something that I'm willing to do. I'm going to start the block walk on Thursday. I've got the lists already. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to keep my word. I don't have shirts yet. I'm trying. But I'm still going to go block walk. I'm going to do my part. Everyone out there has to do their part. You have to go on your phone and text your family and friends. You got to share our stuff, you know? You got to let your people know. We need Erasmo to be the next mayor of the city of Brownsville. We need more ducks. No more duck ponds. Quack, quack, quack. You can lose $179 million by switching to the city of Geico. She has done something. Put up car washes everywhere with our money, pinche. Woo! I love that nickname. We still have more than 200 expressway lights out. Yeah. Have you been down the expressway, Frank?
There was, and I know the weather has been kind of off lately, but there was several streets this past week that the lights were out, and that's because it wasn't even that cold, And again, little things like that makes you wonder, like, hey, what's going on? Shouldn't we be prepared for this? But again, it's Brownsville.
Look, let me say this, folks. Something happened the other day, and I'm going to share this. Uh, you're going to see it on my campaign report. I received a $300 donation, and I am ecstatic. I appreciate the friend of mine that donated the money. I don't know if I can already say who that individual is. If you're watching, and if it's okay for me to say, let me know. It's going to come out in the campaign finance report, I think April 6th. But I appreciate that. I had one friend, and I hope he's watching. He said, "Hey, that's what I'm going to break down with $350." And I said, "Great." He said, "You'll get it this week." And that didn't materialize. It didn't happen. And look, I'm not going to be out there bitching about money. I've actually told a friend who has already donated, I think, $60, Frankie. I told him, yeah, because I realize the limitations of a lot of individuals that cannot donate, or are on a, fixed income.
Right, but yeah.
So I appreciate, yeah, tight budget. I appreciate, 40, 60, $80. Thank you so much. I don't want you to donate more than what's in your means. I want you to work this campaign for me. But like this individual that promised $350 for cups, it has not happened. I'm not going to bitch about it. Frankie, I'm not the one that's going to go on the phone, go, hey, you promised me $350. Where are they? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see the individual and I'm going to say, hey, ¿cómo estás? Everything's great. Everything's great. Because for me, it's not about the money. I would much rather have individuals going out and do what this friend of mine who is broke down with a $300 donation. He's out there going and encouraging people to vote for Erasmo Castro. That's what I want, more than the money, folks. I don't want your money. I'll take your money. I don't want your money. I want your support. I want you out there sharing my stuff. I want you out there talking to people. I want you going out there and sending text. I want you come April 24th to take people to the polls like Hector does, like Ben does. That's what I want you to do, because it should never be about the money. And let me say this again. I'll take your money gladly, but it's not about the money. I want your support. I want you to get to work. Help me. Help you. I'm not a Pat Ahumada who put up a GoFundMe page and only got 2 donations. More power to you. And I'm still waiting for someone's donation to show. But Pat, it's over, Pat. It's over, bro. It's time to work together, Pat. It's time to work together, man. Let's work together, because you know who the enemies are. The enemies are that corrupt political machine that John Cowan and Jessica Tetroe are a part of, Pat. Let's work together. None of this, write my name in, or Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse, like you said. That's asinine, bro. Makes no sense. Not this GoFundMe page. It looks horrible, And to each their own. You're not a candidate, bro. let's come back to reality. And the reality that my people in Brownsville are living is that we're being ignored by the corrupt political machine. We don't have sidewalks. We don't have bus stops. We don't have a zoo, Frankie. We don't have a zoo. The zoo is about to lose accreditation, folks. You really think Jessica Tetroe and John Cowan are going to do anything to protect the zoo? They're not. And you know why I say that?
They haven't.
Because they haven't. Because they haven't. Our zoo is in danger. They've done nothing. In the past 4 years, in the past 12 years, they've done nothing. Frankie, they brought us to this point, Frankie. They were a part of the mechanism that pushed this to this point where we're about to lose accreditation, Frankie. They were. Not Erasmo. Look, Frankie, Erasmo Castro taking selfies, Erasmo Castro saying that he's handsome, did not place the zoo's accreditation at risk, Frankie. Do you agree with that?
Agree.
Their inaction, Frankie, in the past 4 years, in the past 12 years, has put the zoo where it is right now. And that's unfortunate, Frankie. That will be a black eye in the city of Brownsville for decades to come. No?
I agree. And again, to the community, all you have to ask yourselves is, are you satisfied? Look at the streets. It's the same old same. These individuals have the power to do something now. Have they done something? If you look at
Nothing.
it's just photo ops. It's just where can I go to pass out these things, to take a picture so a news media could look at me and so I could be on the news. These people don't care about the city of Brownsville. All they care about is their businesses. Look at all these individuals on the city commission. Well, not all of them, but most of them. They got businesses. Look at our mayor. He tried to pocket 200K. You think these individuals aren't in it for themselves? It's apparent. We need somebody that's going to work for the people. Only us. We have the opportunity to change that. Again, look at the streets. We still dealing with the same issues over year in and year out, election cycle through election cycle. What doesn't change is them using the position for their own benefit. It's time for us to change that and elect somebody such as Erasmo Castro that really is going to go and ruffle some feathers. Have them answer those tough questions and make sure that the citizens of Brownsville receive that 179 million back.
Be sure to let me know your block walking schedule so I could be there. Yes, Thursday. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I think Frankie and I will talk about what will be the best recourse. But I'll let you know, my man. I appreciate you. Look, folks, this coming election, you have a choice. You have a choice between three candidates, really. And no diss to Stanton, but she's not really a candidate, guys. You got a choice between someone that's going to fight for maybe 29 million, Frankie. Another candidate that hasn't even said anything, Frankie, about Tanasca or money. Nothing.
Yeah.
Or you have an opportunity to vote for someone that's going to fight for your $179 million. Your money. That's the choice. You've got someone that's going to talk about sidewalks, someone that hasn't even mentioned sidewalks, or someone that's going to literally put boots to the ground and fight for your kids to be able to go from school to home, from home to school safely. You got someone that doesn't even know that our bus stops are getting rusted. The new ones. Someone who hasn't even mentioned the bus stops. Or someone who has been bitching about the bus stops for the past 10 years. And he's going to get them done. He's going to make sure that every single bus stop out there in the city of Brownsville has a covering or a bench or both. And that's Erasmo Castro, guys. That's the choice that you have to make. You got someone that's going to champion for the city, or someone who's going, or two individuals who are probably going to leave us at the exactly same place that they left us before. Because their focus, and look, go back into Cowan's spiel. Cowan is like, oh, industrial parks, need more industrial parks. No, Cowan, you need more industrial parks. Ralph Cowan needs more industrial parks. Philip Cowan needs more industrial parks, because y'all are custom brokers. Y'all are needing that gasoline and those that merchandise coming in from Mexico. You need the space. We need our money back. We need sidewalks. We need bus stops. We need fairness in regards to the just judicial system here and accountability for those individuals that have done us wrong. Y'all have given us nothing. But John wants more industrial parks so that he can continue to be enriched, and Ralph Cowan enriched, and Philip Cowan enriched. And that has got to stop. Look, guys, it's not about the Cowans. It's not about the Detros. It's about the people of Brownsville. And the people of Brownsville want to bank because they haven't been banking for a while. Well, Jessica Tetreault drives her Tesla, while Trey Mendez, Frankie, parks his Tesla anywhere he wants. The people of Brownsville have a hard time paying for an oil change on their car. People of Brownsville have a hard time putting new tires on their car because there's no economic development. So now my opponents want to say, we're going to bring economic development. How much have you brought in the past 4 years? How much have you brought in the past 12 years? Economic development. That's their platform right now. We're going to bring economic development. You failed us. Now you want us to trust you with 4 more years? You failed the people of Brownsville. You haven't produced. You don't know your numbers. And you neglected the individuals who you expect to put a chicken plate in their hands for a vote to continue to screw them over. Yikes. Horrible. Say no to options and say yes to solutions. 100%. Beach cleanup this Saturday at Puente de los Lobos. Lots of food and giveaways. I'll be out there. They're a huge corrupt machine with a large organization army in cahoots. Who wants to continue stealing? They doubling down. Yes. And that's why they will continue to spend millions on these races, folks. Who is the candidate for commissioner with less corruption? Well, you got one candidate. Absolutely no corruption. That's Erasmo Castro. None. Someone who has been proven to be placed in a position to take millions and took zero. And that's Erasmo Castro. Sorry, no beach cleanup. Not, come on and join us. Oh. You got John and Teta that got options for you. Got Erasmo that has solutions. Preach. And that's what we need, Frankie. We need solutions. We need individuals that are going to call out the corruption, call out the wrongdoing, and start working on fixing it. Not individuals who are going to look at 5 options and see what happens. It's a cop-out. That's bullcrap. I told you papaya head was no good. Yeah, you told me. You told me. So, Frankie, It's been a good show.
Good show, man.
I tried. It's hard, Frankie, and you and I had this conversation. It's hard not to mention their misdoings, Frankie. But it's pointing out their misdoings that we can start having that dialogue between us, Frankie, amongst us all, in regards to the solutions. You know, because I know people are tired of going, well, that's what you already pointed out the 179 million. What are we going to do? We got to keep on reminding people they took this money from you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to fight for every dime, every penny, not 29, not 11, everything. We're going to fight for sidewalks, bus stops. We're going to fight to provide the resources for all of Brownsville. And look, to all my people that are now living in the country club, in the Alton Glore area, where Michael now, to all these people that have done the thing, what the Jefferson.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I know I saw it. There. Are we back? Are we back? Frankie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we back? Frankie?
Yeah.
To all the people
Yes.
that have done the Jefferson thing, you know what the Jefferson thing is?
Jefferson, The Rock?
Frankie? No. The moving on up to
Oh,
the sky, to the deluxe apartment. Huh?
Moving on up to the east side. Yeah, yeah.
Remember the Jeffersons?
Yeah, yeah. The show. Yeah, the show.
To the east side, where
You're breaking up. I think I lost you, man.
you're there?
Yeah, you're choppy. I can't see you.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Frankie.
I can hear you.
Okay. Uh, okay. So guys, we gotta start doing the Jeffersons. All these people that are living in all these other sections of Brownsville, guys, remember where you came from. You came from Southmost. You came from Rivera. You came from the hood. Look, my nephew, Jerry Martinez, he goes to St. Joe, Frankie. You know that, right?
Mhm.
They've done well. But my family doesn't forget that we came from the hood. Frankie, we came from Southmost, Frankie. You cannot forget your people. So I want everyone out there, even my St. Joe people, my country club people, my VICC people, folks, do not forget that you came from the hood, and we've got to help our people in the hood get a piece of the pie, like the Jeffersons, and moving on up to the east side, because we've got to do this together, guys. We've got to do this together in order to bring Brownsville where it needs to be, where Brownsville is that shining light on top of a hill, an example for everyone out there. And we can do this together, folks. So thank you for coming on, Frankie.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Guys, have a great evening. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still being all that crap. Guys, be good to each other. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless. All right, bye. I'm out.
All right. It's still live. It's still on, no?
No. Oh, crap. I don't know. All right, I'm going to go out.
All right.
See you.
Peace.
Okay. Bye.